Today we're gonna weave a tale. Tale of a king who was consumed. Totally based in Dark Souls lore, not some shit that I just made up on the spot right now. So, totally real. One day, Sir Kingsalot was riding his bicycle down the street. Street made of gold. He's the king. He can make his streets out of whatever the fuck he wants. But you know, these are like special king streets. Streets that only he can walk upon. For he is not the cool king. He's not like Cusco. Cusco's an emperor. I don't think that counts. The emperor from Mulan is also an emperor. But imagine, if you will, like a cool king. A cool king who does all the right things. Skateboards down the sidewalks. High fives all the kids. Teaches them life lessons. Like, hey, Bobby, you can't be stealing those apples. For a farmer worked hard to plant those apples. And then he had to care for them. And it took 3 years to get that apple tree to the point where it would produce that apple that is now in your hand. And it took all of that 3 years, plus a bunch of mental and sexual tension that the farmer had built up to make sure that the thing grew right. I lost character there. Who am I again? Oh my god, that's the third fucking time I've died on that run. So, I've got cool kings going down the skateboarding. Yeah, don't steal the apples because the apple got the apple from the farmer. The farmer had to grow it, and that's hard work. You like playing with your Legos, don't you? What's a Lego, King? Well, that's a thing that's going to be invented in a couple of 100 years from now, when kings are pretty much obsolete. For I have seen the future. Anyway, you like playing with, I don't know, your fucking wooden horse or whatever. You play with dirt and twigs. You like those, right? Yeah! Well, what if you were building something out of the dirt and twigs? Say a big old model of a carrot. And someone came around and just decided to take it from you. And you had spent 3 long hours working on that carrot. You wouldn't appreciate that much, would you, Billy? Well, no, sir. Now that you put it that way, I guess I wouldn't. Right. So, how do you think the farmer feels when you steal his apples that he's worked 3 years to plant and grow and tend to? Ah, well, now that you put it that way, King, I feel pretty bad. I'm sorry, I won't do it again. So he teaches kids lessons, blah, blah, blah. You know, they learn things. But that's, you know, that's Cool King. We're not talking about Cool King. We're talking about, who, Arthur? I don't know. I'm talking about Oceiros. Because Oceiros is not a cool king. Quite frankly, he's a dick to his people. So Oceiros had his streets of gold, which he didn't let anyone walk on because he's not a cool guy. Cool King would have let people use his gold roadways, but not Oceiros, no.
Where have you gone?
Oceiros is a fucking dick, easily consumed by greed and corruption. Oceiros was being a dick one day, wandering around on his gold-paved roads like a jerk, and flaunting that shit too. There were people like just outside the gates, just outside the area where the gold roadways were. And he was like,
Hey, peasant, aren't my roads impressive?
and they were like, yes, king. Because the penalty for disagreeing with the king was like getting molested to death. And you know, most people don't want to get molested to death if they can help it. He's being a dick. He's flaunting his fucking roads. He's walking around with a baby. Or at least like he might just be making baby noises. It's really hard to tell at this point. His baby might be invisible, or he might just be making baby noises like a goddamn ventriloquist. And so people are like, you know, not really a fan of Oceiros. He generally does things, you know, like charging towards them, killing them because they killed his invisible baby. Again, he's not the skateboard king. He's more of the murder his loyal subjects king. Also, he has a tendency to rub his balls on folks, and you know, you can't rub your balls on folks. Them's the rules. We've agreed upon this as a society. Granted, they didn't really have those rules back then. It was a different era. Kings are not like our presidents. You know, if Trump just came up to folks and was like rubbing his balls in their face, people would have something to say about it. Not the townsfolk of wherever the fuck Oceiros is from. Lothric? I don't know, who gives a shit. So, townsfolk don't like him. They're gonna like Julius Caesar his ass to death. So they come up with a plan, right? It's mostly foolproof. They're gonna tell him, that his baby has wandered into the pool. It's not entirely foolproof. You know, usually his baby is like in his hands, unless it's dead. Like today. So, we're gonna tell him like, oh, he's wandered over to the royal pool and is in the process of molesting all the senators. Anyway, we'll finish this story in a bit after he's dead. Cocksucking motherfucker. I stopped telling the story and then I die. So they had this plan, right? They're gonna kidnap his baby. I didn't mention that. I said that they were gonna tell him that his baby was gone. But no, they were gonna wait until he was sleeping. Which is quite obvious because when he snores, holy fuck does he snore. It's a snore you done never heard before in your life. It'll haunt your dreams. You will never sleep again. It's a snore that can take the trim off of curtains. Snore that can kill all the birds in your neighborhood. So he's got a pretty bad snore. So they know when he's sleeping is the point. He's a really sound sleeper too. And that's another one of the reasons they hate him. Besides the fact that he rubs his balls in their face. That's bad enough. But the fact that none of them can sleep. You know, if you don't sleep, eventually you just kind of go crazy. And the town is well beyond the point of just going completely fucking bonkers. So, the plan is to go in while he's sleeping, his baby, kidnap it, and then bring it down by the pool and like drown it or whatever, or just tell him like, oh, your baby's at the pool, because it turns out Oceiros is scared to death of water. Not a very kingly thing to be, but no one can really disagree with the king, so he never has anyone tell him like, oh, you should learn to swim. He doesn't want your fucking suggestions, folks. He just wants to be a king, because he's a cock. So, one night, he's sleeping. He's got his staff and his weird-ass baby in his hands. Things don't go as planned. For Oceiros has powers. What are those powers, you ask? He's got crystally shit. He's got, fucking the ability to make people lose their locks when he's right in front of them somehow. He's got the ability to smash his baby into the ground and kill it, and then blame you. He's got a lot of powers. So they break in, steal his baby, right? All mostly goes according to plan. Until they tickle him in his one ticklish spot. And that is his big, giant ball sack. And it turns out his ball sack, just by touching it, his ball sack on your face is enough to kill you. So they're going to grab the baby. I feel like the story's full of fucking plot holes. It doesn't matter. So they're going to grab the baby. One of the townspeople accidentally tickles his taint. Kills him instantly. He's a sound sleeper, so he doesn't wake up, but he kind of like, he shifts around a little bit, and in the shuffle, his taint is kind of like flopping around. Taint/balls. You know, the whole, like, that whole ball and the landing strip, you know, all those are, very, very deadly areas when you're dealing with Oceiros. So, tickle him. He kind of moves around a bit. The flopping of his balls, the balls kind of go around, kills 3 more people. So, his balls have already killed like 3 people. It's a group of like 6 that have gone into this area. So 3 people get killed. The other 3 are freaking out. They manage to steal the baby, but not before some wacky ass Home Alone antics take place. Oh my god. Fucking cunts. So they're running away with the baby. The baby, of course, is crying because the baby's just a crying little bitch with no sense of like awareness. You know, the cries of the baby also keep the town people up, and they're not accepting of that at all. It's enough you got to deal with his horrific snoring. If you listen carefully, yeah, that's him snoring. That's him sleeping now. So just imagine that like going on repeatedly over the course of a night. You've got kids of your own, dogs that are totally not into that sound, and so they're barking. None of your kids can sleep. You're going fucking crazy. You're to the point where like you can't handle the bullshit your kids say. So you kill like 3 of them, and then a plague comes along, wipes out a big population of the town because their immune system is you know, derped. It's all derped from not sleeping much due to those horrific snores. By the way, that plague, it's still around today. In fact, we can see it all around us in the consumed king's garden. King's baby gets stolen. Baby's crying. There's only 3 people left, so everyone else is dead. And then on the way out, the unthinkable happens. Oceiros has 2 guards who are very, very good at their jobs mostly, but they fucked up one day, man. So, they go to, take out these townspeople. But because they've never actually seen the baby, they assume that the townspeople are just, going after, whatchamacallit, the king. And their only job really is to protect the king. So, they ram their sword down on whatchamacallit, Derpy McDerpenstein. They bring their sword down on the three dudes. Not aware that the baby is in their hands. This story took a good turn. We've got dead people. We've got dead babies. The point is, the guards killed the baby. And there's a special link shared between Oceiros and his baby, where his balls get super inflamed whenever the baby dies. It's kind of like a witch's curse, except he just did it himself because he was bored one day. It's like if
my baby ever died, I want my balls to become inflamed. I want my testosterone levels to be boosted so that I can run around on all fours. And I want the power of dragons via testosterone.
So, baby dies. Consume king. Immediately. It's like... Turns out, the knights or the guards only ended up killing, 2 of them. So there's one left. One's panicking. He's running away. He hears behind him the sound of a very large creature coming down the hallway. Lo and behold, he pushes whatever button it is in Outlast 2 that makes you look behind you and sees there's a big fucking dragon chasing him on all fours with big inflamed balls. He's like, well, that can't be healthy. He should really see a doctor. But that only makes Oceiros more angry. So while angry Oceiros was trying to get revenge for his baby, now it's a thing about someone questioning his manhood. Oceiros boosts up the speed. He's running down the hallway faster. Guy looks behind him and Oceiros keeps coming. It's enough to make anyone go crazy. I've already lived in a town for so long where you are severely sleep deprived due to the snores of your king. And basically the guy's brain just explodes. The plan was just like, kidnap the baby, kill the baby. They didn't know, of course, that Oceiros and his baby shared like a magical bond of reading rainbow-like proportions. That was probably the number one flaw in their plan. Besides that, they could have pulled it off better if they hadn't tickled his taint. They probably could have gotten away with it if they hadn't tickled his taint. And if they'd just taken the baby instead, he's a little more forgiving if his baby is, just gone. But alas, nope. It's all about that taint. So long story short, you don't mess with a man's balls and or baby. Mostly the baby, but balls are sensitive. So whatever you do, if you're thinking I'm going to kidnap a man's baby, tickle his balls a little, you made a mistake. I think we've all established that the moral of this story is you don't fuck with the balls. Really, this is a multiple gendered story. You don't fuck with genitals unless the other person's cool with you fucking with their genitals. And if a person uses their genitals as a weapon, you definitely don't fuck around with their genitals. And that's just for your own safety. That's like a safety tip. That's not even a common courtesy thing. That's a safety tip. That's a don't run with scissors kind of safety tip. And that's why you should always wear protection, kids. Good talk.
Yeah.